Welcome to the March 24th, 2017 edition of Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web-exclusive production here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on the United States Supreme Court voting 8-0 to overrule a 10th Circuit Court decision regarding a special needs student in Douglas County this week. The decision resets the standard that schools must hit in how they provide education for special needs students. Patty Cahoon from Westward. The decision's timing allowed for a deliciously awkward moment in Neil Gorsuch's confirmation hearings, because that decision that they overruled with 8-0 vote was actually from Neil Gorsuch. So what do you think the effect is going to be on Douglas County having to reset the standard of how they treat special needs education?
Well, and the timing was also led to probably the first time people have referred to a bathroom break while testifying, because he was handed the Supreme Court decision as he was going to a bathroom break after his second day of testimony. Douglas County is definitely going to have to reset how they do this. It seemed like Gorsuch acquitted himself all right, as long as you're not the parent of an autistic child, because you definitely heard those people talking on Thursday in the recap of Gorsuch's testimony. But he was saying, we were following circuit court decisions. We were following the law. We had to. It came down to really the word merely too, and it showed that merely giving the education they thought was okay in Douglas County to this autistic kid did not meet the standard that we want to see for children in this country.
Amy Oliver Cook from the Independence Institute joins us. When Douglas County has found itself in the national spotlight, even with Supreme Court stuff, on many education issues. So this was, while a big issue, because everything in the Supreme Court's a big deal, minor compared to some of the other ones. Do you think the decision affects Douglas County a great deal now that it's been summarily really against what they proposed?
Actually, interesting on this, I don't know that it affects Douglas County as much as it affects disabled children everywhere. I mean, I think the Supreme Court got it right. Judge Gorsuch was right as well. He was bound by precedent, and for Dick Durbin to make some kind of political hay out of it is sort of silly. But this is actually a victory for disabled children in the sense of it frees up. We're opening the door to educational choice for disabled children. That is actually, I think, is being overlooked in the politics of this. We shouldn't just be celebrating it for, say, for this child, but for every child in the United States, that money will follow the child. It's not necessarily in that brick and mortar school, but money can follow the child. That's a good thing.
Eric Sonne, political analyst, there are a lot of different angles to the story. We have Neil Gorsuch and how it might affect his confirmation. You have Douglas County. You have special needs students. We have school choice. Take your pick.
What do I want to pick? Where I start is, we're living through March Madness and going to the brackets. I keep thinking of Colorado's own brackets of what is the most notorious county. And I think we're heading to the Final Four and then the final championship, which is Boulder versus Douglas County. Douglas County has very much put itself on the map in the last several years to take on Boulder as, the notorious Colorado locale. Douglas County is in the news all the time these days and on a national level. Judge Gorsuch did a very fine job in his confirmation hearings, but I thought he had two strategic fallbacks that I thought were devastatingly effective. Whenever there was an issue of statutory interpretation, he just fired right back on the senators sitting on the panel and said, well, you're the senators, you make the law, we judges just interpret them, and so ball's in your court, do your job, change the law. And then in cases such as this that we're talking about, he basically said, look, I'm just a lowly circuit court judge. I'm governed by precedent here. It's my job to tee up interesting issues for my bosses, the Supreme Court, to figure out, and this being perhaps one such issue. So I thought it was a nice way to basically deflect anything and everything, and it was a well done, well-crafted, prepared strategy on Gorsuch's part. Lastly, I really agree. Amy and I, sometimes come at things from different political points of view, but I totally agree with her on this one, that this is a victory for school choice, and really more than choice, for the concept that government doesn't have to be the ultimate provider of all educational services. If other providers can do it better, let the government dollars follow the kid.
Susan Green, editor at coloradoindependent.com. So we have school choice, you have Douglas County, you have Neil Gorsuch. Again, take your pick. You think what's going to be the longer lasting impact we're going to see from a decision from the Supreme Court, which always have pretty big impacts.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's paying a bit of attention to Neil Gorsuch's circuit court decision on this case. I think the story here very much is, as Eric said, you've got a county in this state that is not just leading in the state, but leading in the nation as a sort of incubator for what they call school choice. I would like to call school privatization. And the far bigger Supreme Court case that I'm concerned about is a case that's actually pending cert. So we're not sure that the Supreme Court will take it up, but it's also out of Douglas County, and it's about their school voucher program. And that if it is granted cert and Gorsuch does hear that case, it's likely that that could be a very big benchmark ruling prohibiting vouchers throughout, allowing vouchers throughout the state, throughout the country. And there's some question about, if it was granted cert before he takes office, where that would go as well. And the default would be to not go with the privatizing school choice here.
As always, it should be very interesting to watch. A lot of sides on this one. That's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out Postgame this week. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.